Hi there, this is Kilroy, or some may know me as the number 25, with the Project Master Blaster here, so I guess you could call me Master, and this is Blaster. I'm going to go over a few things here that help you out, some building tips, but then I'm going to go into the two ways you can run your body mounts, and the things you can do to them. First, I'm going to start with this. It's a good idea to go and get yourself a good notepad. I like the ones that can cover it, protect it. As you can see, this one's really been through the ringer. And all this messy writing that you wouldn't be able to read if I stuck it right on the camera. Basically, what this is a build sheet. I suggest if you're going to get serious, or even if you're a new guy, I kind of suggest doing it. Probably more important if you're a new guy, because you can stay on track, especially say your derby's not that far away. This really helps you manage your time. I'll go into that in a second here, but basically just write down. I don't even get like organized with the order. I just write everything I need to do on the car. Make shifter, install transmission, everything down to remove door handles on the inside or outside or whatever. But now, how to manage your time? Most people aren't going to have their own shop. Most people are going to be working, say, in their own garage, and most everybody has a job. I hope they have a house. Well, anyways. Certain noise restrictions where you can't do stuff and things you can't do, or to better manage your time. What I'll do, say, hell, I've worked till midnight, but what I'll be doing those midnight hours is trying to get everything planned, or maybe even work on the welder, so when the weekend comes around I can do my welding. Or simple things as organizing, making sure I got enough washers to install the body, stuff like that, so you can better manage your time. Or even just lightly sanding or whatever, getting the areas ready to weld the trunk ship. Anyways, that'll help manage your time, and so you're not missing out. Plus, it also helps you build a better car, because if you're smart and stay on track with the thing, and I'll just skip this step up, and that step you missed might have took you out of the derby. So it's a good idea to stay to your list. You also won't miss anything. Forgot to change fuel filter. If you have it written down here and you knew the fuel filter was clogged, well, you won't forget it if it's written down. Also, the last thing, don't throw it away when you're done. I know it sounds kind of dumb, but I actually take this after the fact, go over the complete car, see what worked, what failed, what might have failed that I didn't know was going to fail, write it down and keep it for a while. So, and keep that until you build the next car. Then you can fix the problems you came across another derby. It gives you the whole year practically, if you got a year to the next derby, to try and figure out why that went wrong and what you can do about it. But anyways, so I just want to go over that. Get yourself a notepad. Makes it a lot easier. Now I'm going to go over basics of body mounts. Now I'm going to be going over body mounts. There's 14 different locations just in the body alone that you can replace the body mounts, or just pull out the body mounts themselves and run straight bolts through. There's 2 in the core support too, but you can do it the same way I'm going to be doing these, but if you're allowed to run the thread through your core support, that's a better way to go through it, but we'll go through that on some other date. But anyways, there's going to be 2 in front of the driver's feet and the passenger's feet. There's going to be that 1 on each side at midpoint of the car. There's 1 just below the back seat, and then there's 4 altogether in the trunk, 2 up front and 2 in back. Plus there's this mount here, that this is actually a fake mount, or this is a real mount. I'll show you how these work in a second. There's this one right above the wheel well, so that'd be that location. Anyways, what we have in most locations, except for the fake mount, is you'll have this sits on top of the frame, and this goes through the hole in the frame with a bolt, and bolts together. Well, basically what you're going to do is you're going to jack the body up. You can't use the bumper, unfortunately, but you can usually stick a nice board on the trunk floor after you get all the bolts taken out and the body loosened up. You can jack it up enough. I'll stuff wooden blocks on top of the humps to hold the body up while you wiggle this out off the top. This usually comes out with a bolt like that, and what's on the inside, all this goes up through and inside the body, which I've already started cutting out, and you'll see is encapsulated nut with a cover over it. You can cut that all the way out, or what I'm going to show you how to do in one step is what to do with stock stuff. First of all, you can go out and buy washers from Ace Hardware. You have giant bolts, all sorts of good stuff there. Or like these washers here, these actually come, I take 2 of the bolts out of the rear bumper shocks, cut the bracket down, that's because that's where a nest spring. Or there's good washers there you can take. That's why I take, when I scrap a build a car or anything, strip it, save all the washers you can. But I'm going to show you what I do, because these are perfect. This is the rubber mount with a encapsulated or stuck, vulcanized rubber mount to it. And they grab a razor blade and show you how to deal with those. Okay, I got this one pretty well done. I'll just finish it off real quick here. Like I said, just hold it back, put some tension on it. Makes the rubber a lot easier to cut. And sometimes, like I say, when they're rusted, it just, sometimes the last part will just peel it. So there's your rubber piece, there's your good washer. Next step you can do, keep the bolts. I guess I should remember, well, I kind of told you to keep everything because you're going to probably need it, or you can use it on anything. Also, if it doesn't fit anything else, you got a huge trunk gap. You can stick this bolt in there and weld up the huge gap in your trunk if it's too much to fill with your welder. It helps out. Basically, what you can do, take a washer, take a bolt. There is a giant hole in the frame where this goes through. That's why I use these washers. And you're going to zip this. If you're doing it this, or all you're doing is the easy way, which I've done this many a time, never had any problems. This is the first time I'm actually using all thread. I'm not going to use all thread in these back 2 positions, but I'm going to show you how, basically use that to show you how you can do it the easy way, which is removing the mounts and using mostly all the stock bolts. So let me get an impact wrench and crawl under it, and I'll show you how to do this. Okay, here you can see the big hole where the rear body mount goes, and you can see right there the nut where the bolt's going to go. I like to stick some grease or something on the end of it, since it's going to have to go through quite a bit of metal here. And just start it by hand, of course. Get at least a couple threads started. Then you can grab an impact. I got an electric one here since I ain't done with the compressor. 5/8 socket on the end. Get it started and just zip her on up. And that's what you end up, once the bolt runs all the way through the body and the sheet metal, then you just take one of the washers like I showed you how to prepare. Put that on top. A lock washer if you want. I prefer to use locky nuts. I couldn't find one at this time, but anyways. And basically, that's threaded through the body, but all you're going to do here is basically lock it down like a double nut type situation, where, and it also clamp the body down even tighter. It'll squish the sheet metal down. You just take an impact and zip her down. There you go. As you can tell, it's sucked that down quite a bit, so now it's nice and tight and secure against the frame. And that's a good time to discuss why we do this. This just makes the car a lot stronger. And what can happen at times when you don't do this the floor will go up and the frame will go down and end up doing more damage. This is a lot more easy to manage when you have to repair a car. You know, the whole body will go down as opposed to going 2 different directions. It does make it a lot stronger and just makes a lot of things easier. Plus, it's nice to have the body secured where it isn't shifting around, causing other problems with your steering and whatever that might be attached to the body. But anyway, there you go. That's the basics of, if your rules allow you to remove the body bolts and you want to do it the simple, easy way, using stuff that came with the car. And like I said, most of the time I've always done it this way. And next I'll show you how, another video I'll show you how I'm going to deal with up there with using all thread. Like I said, that's a different discussion. This one was basically just what to do using stock components for the newbies. Okay, as you can see, I got both sides that I'm going to do the stock way done. Now I'm just going to go over and show you where this will work. If you're going to do it the stock way, this technique will work here. Even though I already got that cut out, it'll work the same way. You just, once you get rid of all the rubber, the bolt's so long, and when you zip it through with the impact gun, it'd be really hard to do with anything else. You could do it by hand, but it's a lot easier if you have an electric impact or an air impact. Just zip it through, same thing like that. The other place it'll work is the 2 under the back seat. These are cut out, but it's the same thing. You do it just like that. Place it won't work, I mean, you possibly could cut it out like this, do the same thing, put a nut, but the bolts are actually a little too long for up here once you take everything out here. All I ever do in this situation is get find a similar bolt that just doesn't have as much shoulder on it, towards a little bit more thread, and basically I'm gonna go buy bolts from, or might as well just go get some grade 8 bolts. That's what I've always done. Get some shorter grade 8 bolts. Same thing, you use the same washer and just stick 2 on each side, and that's perfectly fine. That technique will work here also. This one's not always used, you'll find sometimes, but most of the time it is. Same thing, if you want to use a stock bolt, zip it up. This is basically an idea of what I'm going to be doing, or what you could do, that could represent all thread, 3/4 inch all thread. It's basically just a bolt sitting there, and then you could use a regular washer. What I'm going to do, and it's going to take some time, is I'm going to go ahead and cut out some big old 1/4 inch plates, cut a hole in it. You'll need one down here too, because basically when you're running all thread, you're going to have one down here with the nut and one here with the nut. I suggest starting at the bottom, top, or whatever, and tack welding the nut. Problem is when you run all thread, this is here, tightening here and here, sometimes that all thread will twist inside there and it'll actually come loose. That's why some people don't like doing the all thread body mounts. But another option is to double nut it if you can. Stick a double nut on top, double nut on bottom. But like I said, if you just go ahead and weld one of the bolts, or heck, what you could do, once you got it all tightened down, you could tack weld the bolt to the all thread and tack weld the nut to the washer, tack weld the washer to the body. Then you don't have to worry about it coming loose. But that's what I'm going to be doing in all these locations, on the front, there, here, back there. Now the last place that if you use the stock technique, like I said, that ain't going to work, is up here. You ain't going to be able to see it, but I pointed it out earlier, and it's going to be on the photo. It's just right up here. There is a hole there. Through the frame, there's a hole, and actually through the first layer of sheet metal, there's a hole. But there's no hole through the upper package tray inside there. What I'll do, I've drilled them out. If all you got is a drill, you can work your way under there with a drill and drill it up and out. Since I have torches, what I'll do is I'll just take the torch, kind of set kind of low, and I'll just put the tip up inside there, and I'll just let it get the area hot. And basically what it's going to do, it's a sheet metal, it'll eventually burn through. And then you just go inside here, because you'll be able to see it, then cut whatever size hole you want. Drop your, in that case you don't even need all thread, because it's somewhere around 4 to 6 inches, I don't remember, maybe not even be that. You can actually just stick a bolt in there, just a bolt and a washer, one washer on the frame. You're getting another kind of wide washer for the bottom, because the frame hole's kind of big. The top, a lot of times I'll just cut a piece of scrap steel, hole in it, and stick a nut on it. and that really helps bolt this area down. So what happens if you don't bolt this area down, and you know that impact in the back, the body will go up. You know, the frame will go down, or the frame will buckle. I think this actually kind of helps a little bit to keep from blowing your humps out. Bolt the body here, so I suggest doing it. So basically, there you go. You know, like I said, those are the areas you can do the stock technique. Once I get some pieces cut, I'll go over a couple quick things in case nobody understood in another video on using all thread for body mounts instead. But there you go. That's a good way to get your body secured nice and tight. If your rules allow you to remove the body bolts, if you're not allowed to remove the body bolts, well then I guess it's easier on you because you don't have to do anything. Just leave it alone. See ya.